Are you 50 plus and thinking about retirement, but you aren't ready to retire yet? Or are you ready to be your own boss? Or have you been thinking about doing meaningful work and that has social impact or contributing to a greater good? If so, the University of Minnesota has a program to help you explore these possibilities. And we're going to learn all about it next on What's Next. Welcome to What's Next, everyone. My guest today is Dr. Kate Shavers. She is Executive Director of the University of Minnesota Advanced Careers Initiative. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Diana.
You are co-leading the Advanced Careers Initiative at the University of Minnesota. So why was this program started?
You know, the way that we used to imagine our lives as being education and work and then retirement and leisure doesn't work today for people. So when we look at how people are living their lives and their work lives, we know that education has to happen all the way across the lifespan. And so we have to continually retool and learn new skills. And we also know that work doesn't stop at the end of a career, that we often continue to work in different ways and perhaps more sustainable ways that reflect a life stage that may come after work. But we know that this idea of boxes of life, of education, work, and leisure don't fit anymore. And so we started University of Minnesota Careers Initiative because we know that people are at pivot points in their lives where it's retooling, but it's also renewing to figure out what that next chapter looks like, and that we will be doing more of those over the course of our careers because we need to continually adapt as the workplace demands.
So who is this program for? I know it's for the 50 plus, but is it as you approach retirement, or is it for those who are already in retirement? And several of the pictures I see online shows working with younger college students too.
Absolutely. So we target people who are 50 plus or midlife and beyond, who are at those pivot points where they're ready to make a change. So some of our fellows come back because they're looking for meaningful work. They want to shift into a different kind of a career, and maybe they have some space in their lives where they have more choice and they're able to recalibrate for what's next. Other people come because maybe they've taken a break from work. For caregiving is a typical one. You know, for working caregivers, sometimes the stresses are so enormous that they may step back from careers, but then they're ready to step back into new kinds of roles. We've also had people who have been, they've been retired maybe recently, and they're looking at some new way to bring work back into their lives, but on their own terms, and work that has more social impact, a capacity given what they're looking at, what their values are. And then we also have people who are looking at planning ahead. So they may be working right now, but they're looking around the corner and say, you know, I really want to have some stepping stones in place for when I leave. So we really can accommodate a whole range of interests along those lines, from people who are looking at recareering and looking at encore careers to people who are looking at meaningful civic engagement in their post-career lives.
Now, one of your former fellows is Vanessa Thompsons. She's 62 currently. She was interviewed for a New York Times article, and she said, I didn't want to be retired. She said, retired implies being done. So at 59, she wanted something new. So, quote, I longed for something more purposeful, more meaningful, more challenging. And now she has created her own business. Is this a typical story you hear?
Absolutely. You know, I think for a lot of people, as they approach those late career, early retirement years, they do want to be continuing to stay engaged. They want to find ways to use their skills for the greater good. I mean, oftentimes it's about purpose. It's about contributing to the next generation. It's about mentoring. And so it's giving back. And so as we look at this new life stage, this Professor Phyllis Moen, who I work with, talks about this as being a new life stage between the career and family building years, but before frailty of old age. And we need whole languages to describe what is going on with this life stage. So we need to kind of find that way to help people open up possibilities and chart courses for what's next.
I think there's a big chunk of the population, though, that's looking towards this. I rarely hear from my friends who are retired they're talking more about being unretired. They're not done. They might not necessarily be looking for a typical 9-to-5 job, but they are looking to do something. So is someone enrolled in this program, but they're not sure, does this give them guidance, step by step, or building blocks towards what they want to do?
You know, it's interesting because one of the things we really encourage people to do is to craft experiments, to try things out, to step into things in little ways so that they're trying out what may fit for them, and to try on a lot of different hats. And so the idea that you're going to have it all figured out right when you leave the workplace is just a fallacy. That we all need to step back and figure out what is next, and what is a life and a career that is sustainable and aligns with the way we want to live our lives at this life stage. And a lot of people are looking to either downshift, or they're looking for meaningful part-time work, oftentimes with benefits. I mean, so a lot of people are needing that piece as well. They're often looking for work that has social impact, that's intergenerational, where they can continue to grow. And so all of these things come together when people are looking at what's next. And increasingly, people are needing to earn some income, but they don't necessarily need that big job. And I think that is just really what's resonating with the people that you're talking with, is just looking at how can they have a job and a life that fits with this life stage.
Now you have 2 courses coming up, so let's talk about that. First, it starts at the beginning of 2021, and then also the program that starts in the fall of 2021. So for our viewers who are interested, give us an overview of what you're thinking about.
Yes, so we have our Fellows program, which is a 9-month, more intensive, intergenerational, come back to campus, be in classes with undergraduate students, and then an internship component. So that's a more intense version, and that's our 9-month program, our fellowship program. And that starts fall of 2021, and it runs for 9 months, so it follows the academic year. But then we also have a new online version that starts this spring, and it's UMAC Online. And what we have with that is a series of 2 shorter online live virtual gatherings to help people figure out how to navigate things. And so we have found that building that community is so important. Connecting people with others that are at similar life stages is so important as well. So we're building an online community with people, and then we're also providing our curriculum that way. And we have 2 series that are part of that. One is it's charting a course for what's next, and that's figuring out what it is that you want, what kind of a lifestyle you're looking at, how do you want to give back. The second part is, what difference can I make? And we know that for a lot of people, when they have focused so much on careers for their whole lives, that they may feel drawn to giving back in certain ways, but they don't know where to start. So there's people who want to make an impact on climate change, or poverty, or social justice, or global health. They have broad views of what they're looking for, but they don't really know the specifics. And so that second series is helping them understand how to be of use to the social sector and how to make some of those relationships.
Well, thank you for joining me, Dr. Kate Shavers. I really appreciate you taking the time today to explain a little bit more about your program at the university.
Thank you.
Again, for more information about the University of Minnesota's Advanced Careers Initiative, please head online to umac.umn.edu.